rear view. Well, it's cold in the south.
I'm doing something a little bit different today. Building a set of sawhorses, which may not be that exciting for some people, but then again, it probably ought to be pretty exciting because a lot of people don't know how to build an old-timey set of sawhorses, and I'm going to show you how. But these are special. First of all, they're special because they're going to come out of this cedar log. The second, they're going to be special because I've got my grandson Jackson here, and he's going to help me saw these logs, right, bud? All right, and the third reason, let's go into a friend. We got some gravel over here though, and we can't have that. I need to clean that off of there. I really need my hatchet. My son went and got my hatchet for me, and I appreciate that. We get this puppy fired up. Sure would like to know what's going through this little boy's head. We all know he'll forget a lot of things that happened to him when he was this age, but sort of got a feeling as long as he'll be able to remember anything, he'll remember this moment. The sound of this saw going through this log, the sawdust, the smell of cedar, and of course it's raining. Quite an atmosphere to elevate the senses, you know what I'm saying? We're getting along pretty good, but you'll notice, and I didn't notice it, I mean, we got a lot of things going on, paying attention to what we're doing. But Jackson starts rubbing his eyes here, and I didn't see it. But the wind's blowing the sawdust from the back of the shed to the front, coming straight at him, and his height, he's right there perfect where the dust coming off of this log. And I guess we should have had some kind of eye protection or something, but I don't know. Pop just not thinking. Anyhow, here in just a second, I noticed it for the first time that it's bothering him. So I told my son that, David, we've got to do something. We got to change it up, and so we did here in just a minute. But for a few minutes, I think we made a special memory. I've thought about for a few weeks now building him a set just so that he would have them, because I know from experience that, you know, cutting on the back of your truck or cutting on the ground, if you got anything to do around the house or whatever, is just really not good. And if you got a set of sawbucks, something that you can use, maybe you can set them out behind the barn or whatever, I don't know, it's always a good thing. He doesn't know that I'm going to build these for him, and I'm not going to tell him until I give them to him. we'll see. I'll show you what I use for a prototype though. I made my first set, and I don't know whether to call them sawbucks or sawhorses, whatever you folks usually call them. I usually call them sawbucks, and that's just what I grew up calling them. So anyway, I'll show you. I made my first set probably, I know I was a teenager, probably 17 or so, and I've been using the same pattern ever since. And probably over my lifetime, I know I've used for myself less than a dozen sets, and that you know, is somewhere around 50 plus years of carpentering. So a set usually will last me probably 5 years. That is, unless if I get some kind of amateur using them and cuts them all up, then I'm in trouble. In case you're curious about the dimensions of these sawbucks, drop me a comment and I'll get back to you in the comment line, or I may even try, if I don't forget, to put it in the description of what these dimensions are. Now, just for a point of reference, and this is on my sawhorses, okay? There's probably more different kinds of ways of building sawhorses or sawbucks, whatever you want to call them, than there are people. But this is just the style that I started. I guess somebody showed me how, or I looked at somebody else's, but anyway, this is just the style that I've always gone with, and it's worked extremely well for me. I like them because you don't have any braces down low, which makes it much easier. Let me set this tape measure down. Which makes them stack nicely, okay? If you had a brace down low, then they don't stack and they don't transport as well. And they're plenty strong. I can assure you, I can put, probably 1,000 pounds on that. I don't know, maybe more. I don't know. I've never have broke a set. But anyway, let's show you a little bit. I make all mine 31 inches. Well, that's 31 1/4 off the concrete. Yeah, 31 1/4. And I make mine with this angle here, tied on with 3 screws, and then those braces like that. You can make them however you want. It's really not that important. It's just, I guess this is a carpenter's signature, how he builds his sawhorses. And this is how I build mine. Now I want to duplicate. I don't have a big bandsaw. That would probably be the easiest way to cut that angle. And I probably cut these with a circular saw, but I'm going to cut them today using a miter saw. Now, it's not the safest way of cutting an angle that long like that, because when you drop the saw down, it wants to pull the board in this way. But I've made up a little jig here. Let me just show you what I got. This board here is fastened to the table, so it can't go anywhere this way. And then this little block here and this here is fastened there, so it can't go anywhere. And I slide this right to where it stops. And then clamp that on there. It's out of the way of the blade. When the blade comes down, the leg can't move. It should be able to get all 8 legs consistent. That's the goal anyway. Because like I said a few minutes ago, the more you can make everything exactly the same, as exacting as you can get it, the better set of bucks you're going to have. That worked good. Slide this down till it bumps. Clamp her in place. Yep, perfectly the same length. That's what we're looking for. And what I've done, I've come through here and I've put a mark 6 inches from the end on all of them. And then I'm going to square that line. And then I'm going to put 1/4 of an inch of angle on that line. So that'll be 6 inches at the top, 5 3/4 at the bottom. I just like them to have a little bit of flare. So they'll look something like that. You see that line? Put that right at the top, right to that line. That should make them all exactly the same. Now I laid this, see those 3 marks right there? Bam, bam, bam. I laid this on my 2 before to find out where I wanted those. And I'm going to use this one. First I'm going to pre-drill these holes. And I'm going to use it as my pattern so that I know this is a little bit, maybe a little bit anal, but use this as my pattern for all of them. So I went to 23.5, and that looks like that's going to be perfect. More exactly like this one, we'll be good to go. I've gone ahead and pre-drilled all these holes. Cedar's just not, it's not the toughest wood in the world. Probably not the best material for sawbucks, but get them fastened together and they shouldn't go anywhere. They'll be very lightweight, very portable, and quite attractive. So we got her down to this point. Now all we lack is the braces. I put these on the outside of the legs. Normally I put them on the inside. Doesn't make that big a difference because what they're doing, what this end piece is doing, it keeps the legs from spreading apart. And then it also provides a place to put a brace from here to here. And what I'm going to do different than that set over there is I'm going to elongate the brace a little bit. So basically they'll be hitting about in the same place. It just won't be cut exactly like that. Well, for these braces that I'm putting over here, I just cut an angle and then scribed it and got it, and here's what it looks like. So I need to cut 2 more and I'll be done with that. And so they look like this. If you see a little something that looks like a little bit of a cut, I don't know what I hit. I just now did that. Kid's okay. It happens. So there's a perfect set of sawhorses. Probably, more than likely, the kid's going to put a little bit of stain on that. I don't know. It may just leave them natural. I think they turned out right nice. Now, I made these a little bit shorter than my standard 33-inch height because my friend's a little bit shorter than I am, but I think they're at 32 inches. But anywho, I think they're going to be all right. Well, the kid's going to call it an evening. I appreciate you joining me, and friend, I'll see you in the next one. It's going to be a surprise.